If you'd like to see more of our videos, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today's March 23rd, 2020, and today is Monday morning, so no major economic news scheduled for today, but obviously because of the coronavirus situation, things are unfolding in a very rapid rate. The amount of affected and infected by this disease just grows exponentially around the world. Very scary and very serious situation continues. Now, looking at the markets, we saw the dollar retreat versus the major pairs. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. And looking at the Dow Jones, it tumbles again on Friday and this morning, but now just briefly bouncing just a little bit off of its lows of 18,300-ish level. Now, looking at the commodities, both gold and oil bounced just this morning, but they remain weak. That's what I want to say. And looking lastly at the stocks, they're still trading with the index. No end to sight for this, at least for now. There are some theories about when this will end, obviously, but for now, it's status quo. But let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trade. So we're going to first take a look at the Euro USD at a 4-hour chart. You can see we hit this bottom on 106.59. Now, this has been a bottom for us before, okay? Those who have been trading the Euro USD will know that we've hit this area once before a couple of times, 107.22 right now. If it doesn't bounce, if it continues to tumble down, we may see it go down to 104-ish level. Now, remember, Europe is hit very hard by all this situation, okay? And the dollar remaining strong just because it's a major currency and it's a very focal point, but things are rapidly happening in the United States that a lot more people are infected at a very, very rapid rate. Okay, they didn't really nip the bud soon enough. And I think that because they didn't take the proper measures, you know, it's actually the momentum in the United States right now with the coronavirus is actually picking up quite scarily. Now, looking at the USD CAD, making a little bit of a correction here to 144 from its low of 146. And looking at the GBP USD, just a sec. Looking at the GBP USD, you can see we're bouncing to 116.88-ish level. But if this is a dead cat bounce, if it means that it's not going to have some momentum, there's nothing to hold it back from breaking further, I think we're going to hit new lows here, okay? Remember, monthly low for this has never been in this area ever, okay? So this is a really scary place for the GBP to be versus the US dollar and quite disconcerting. Okay, now looking at the USD Japanese yen, over here we see the Japanese yen get a little bit stronger versus the USD from 111 to 110. So everything has gotten stronger versus the USD, and that should mean that the markets should bounce, okay, at least the Dow Jones for now, but that's not happening. Looking at gold first, we bounced a little bit to just shy of 1500, but then pairing it up at 1486. If this does continue to sell off, very, very, very disconcerting. If it does break this 1450-ish level, you could see it back down to the 1300-ish level. Now, jumping into oil, nothing really new here. On its dead lows, okay, close to its dead lows of $22 a barrel. A barrel, $22. It still hasn't sunk in for me. And I think if we do break this $20, we could even see it going to the teens, which really would be unprecedented. Looking at the Dow Jones, you could see that we've gapping down this morning from 18,000. It's a daily chart. So let's look at a 4-hour chart just to give us perspective here. Okay, obviously last week was a big sell-off week, okay, from the beginning of the week to the balance of the week. You know, altogether 26,000 from the beginning of March down to 18,000. So we shed off over 8,000 points just in the past 3 weeks. Now, last week, obviously, we had this nice little short covering where we quote-unquote rallied, okay? It's more like we bounced, okay? I don't want to say rallied because that implies buying, which means right here is just people covering their short, okay? Now, right after that, we sold off quite aggressively again, okay? Now, we are gapping down right here. Question is that will we fill the gap in order to go further down? That's the question, if that's going to happen. That's what I'm going to look for today, okay? Because let me explain. At this levels to start, you know, shorting it, it's a little bit risky, okay? So I would wait to see if it does have that little bounce and then doesn't break above this 1897, then we could further go and decline further. Now remember, you know, we're not at the end of this. We're still smack in the middle. Hopefully, I wish to God that we were at the end of this, but until you could see the end of this, okay, and still the numbers go down, okay, of people infected, obviously, and people unfortunately dying, okay, until those numbers actually recede, I think we're going to continue making these corrections in the markets, because ultimately, what is a company worth if most of the people are not participating in the economy? Okay, we are a communal economy in the world, and we need participation. We need that social closeness in order to have that happen. Okay, so many companies besides the airline companies, travel companies, recreational parks, Disney, even retailers, okay, department stores, are really having a very hard time now. But hopefully, this will really be a sign. I hope to God that this will be over within the next few weeks, okay? Tomorrow would be the best, but, realistically speaking, if they get it into somewhat of a control by the end of April, I think we will see, okay? I hate to look at this. It might be a cold way for me to look at it, but you will see which companies did their, or rather, worked in a responsible way to have that money in reserves, okay, and weren't frivolous about their money, and were responsible. And I think that will be a test of time, because these type of scenarios are situations where you could really test, companies' strategies, okay, altogether, just in general, of how they operate. Okay, now if a company doesn't have income for 1 or 2 or 3 months, okay, and they can't continue, then in my humble opinion, I think they're doing something wrong. Okay, but again, that will only show with the test of time. Okay, so looking at the companies right now, looking at the stocks, Apple obviously down to 228. Okay, is it hitting any sort of technical? No, we could continue going further. 215 is really the next technical that we have to go to. Okay, 221 may be a minor one, but 215 is really, where we can continue selling off to. Microsoft, again, okay, also reluctant to go down here. This is a piece of support right here at 136, so we may bounce. We may see this bounce later today, okay, and that's what I would anticipate for the Dow Jones, first to bounce, okay, and then see that 19,800-ish level as a resistance, and then sell off, okay. But again, you've got to trade responsibly, trade smaller, okay, be in and out, don't take such aggressive moves, okay, because this market is still very volatile. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.